meal prep. Should you do it? Is it worth your time? Will you gain a lot of success from it? The answer is yes and no. It depends on what your version of meal prep is. If you prefer to cook lots of meals ahead of time and have them easy to grab, handy, or if you are not a fan of that, which I'm not. I don't like to cook all my meals in advance. I like to, kind of plan my meals around what I'm craving that day, because from day to day I don't know what I'm going to be wanting. There are some ways that you can still meal prep even if you don't want to make full meals, and kind of meal prep the way that you might be thinking meal prep is. So I'll just walk you through some of those real quick. Okay, so first what you'll need is some white vinegar water. You'll need a big bowl and a colander down inside of this bowl. We're going to fill this with water and a little bit of vinegar, and we're going to be washing our fruits and vegetables in this, and then we'll be storing them in the fridge for easy to grab, easy to take and enjoy, and they'll be nice and clean and they'll last much longer this way. So we've got our vinegar in here, and we filled this big bowl up with water. We have this colander in here so that whenever we're done, we can just pull it all right out and rinse and drain all the water. What we're going to do now is pull all the grapes off the stem, and any of them that are already starting to go bad, we'll just toss them right out and not keep them stored with our fresh grapes, because then that'll make the other ones, or the fresh ones, the ones that are ripe, go bad faster. So we're just gonna be pulling them all off here and feeling for any ones that are not any good. So now that we have these all off the vine and we have all the ones that aren't very good pulled out, we're going to just let this soak in this vinegar and water mixture for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll pull them out and let them dry. So while we are waiting on these grapes to be done, I'll just show you, this is what we're going to be putting the grapes in once they are completely dried and cleaned off. We'll just be putting them in here, screwing this on tight, and storing them in the fridge inside of a tall, big mason jar. So this is going to really help them to stay fresh as long as possible. And we have a towel just sitting right over here on the other side of my sink that we're just going to lay them on once we rinse them off, to get all this vinegar off of them. And then we'll just let them air dry until they are completely dry, and then we'll put them in the jars, and then we'll store them in the fridge. So it's been about 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and pull this out, and then we're going to use this to help rinse off all the vinegar from the grapes. The same thing here with our apples, except our apples are a lot bigger. So we're going to take the colander out of this glass jar or glass bowl and just put the apples right into the glass bowl with the vinegar and water, and just let them soak there for about 10 minutes or so. So we're going to go ahead and rinse off all of these apples. Alright, so for my salads, whenever I make those, I like to use coleslaw mix. So I already opened this and put as much as I could fit inside of a jar here. These are already washed, so I didn't even worry about washing it. But I just stuffed as much as I could in this jar here, and I'm going to screw the lid on tight, and this will help some of this stay fresh while I go through this here. Usually in jars, the lettuce and stuff like this are going to last a lot longer. So I'm going to try and go through this first, and then see if this stuff in here is still good with it all being closed airtight. We chopped up our cucumbers, and we put some of them in a mason jar, and what did not fit we've got chopped up, and we have in a plastic bag that we're going to store in the freezer because these actually are really good in smoothies. All right, so now we have chopped up some bell peppers and we're just going to store these in a Ziploc bag. We're going to let it dry before we close it up. But these will last in the fridge just like this for a little while. So we've got those chopped up. These are going to be great for just pulling out and snacking on, and also for using in our meals. They're already chopped up. If we want to dice them, obviously having them like this is going to be pretty easy to still dice them. All right, so we have all of our fruits and our veggies washed and rinsed, and they're either chopped and put in jars and just drying in the jars, or they're still laying here on the towel right beside me. So we've got some apples here. They're still drying. They're almost dry, but not quite. We've got our peaches. We've got some zucchini. So what we're going to do with these bigger ones that we're not going to chop up, like for actually these I might go ahead and spiralize. I'll probably do that so that way it's nice and handy for whenever I go to cook with them. I won't have to spiralize them then. So I'm probably actually going to go ahead and do that. But like with the apples and the peaches here, we're just going to let them completely dry and put them back in the bags that we got them in. Everything prepped and ready. It's all just drying. We put the peaches back in the bag we got them from, just because they obviously won't fit in these jars. But once those are completely dry, we will just put them in the fridge. So we've got the bag kind of open there so that it'll dry. The apples are back in their bag. We've got the zucchini spiralized, and we're just have this paper towel on top of it just to absorb all of the water from the zucchini. We have our bell peppers that we're going to do the same with, just absorbing all the extra water. We have some lettuce here in this jar. I stuffed the paper towel in here and actually flipped it upside down so that all the water would go to that paper towel. So we're absorbing all the water in there. We have our cucumbers diced up and ready for snacking. We have our cabbage and carrot mix here. Just ready to be added to our salads. We have our grapes washed and ready to be stored in the fridge. So that's everything that we've got. Just be really easy just to grab them out of here and not have to worry about washing and dicing them whenever we're hungry. So yeah, so like I said before, these are just some really great options for meal prep, especially if you're busy working a lot. So you can see all of my stuff over there is still drying. But this is going to come really in handy for, like I said, if you're busy, if you're working, you can just grab these, stick them in a lunch bag, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about chopping them up or anything. They're already washed, they're already chopped, they're already prepped. So this is a really good option for meal prep. Another option would be just like cooking up some meat and having that stored either in your fridge or your freezer just to throw in with your meals. So you don't have to worry about cooking the meat already. Having like different pasta and things like that already made up that you can just grab and use for lunches and things like that. So that's some super great meal prep options that are not the typical meal prep that you might be thinking, where you're just making all these maybe like 2 or 3 meals that you're rotating through each week, and that's like all that you're able to eat, and it's just already stored in a little Tupperware thing, and that's all you're able to eat. I hope this is helpful. I hope you liked seeing this meal prep. There's also, with these mason jars here, you can also do mason jar salads. So you'll just put your meat or your sauce on the bottom of the jar, and then your meat, your cheese, whatever toppings you like, and then the very top of your jar, you'll fill it with lettuce, and then you'll just screw that on, and that is ready to go and will last a very long time. The lettuce will be on the top, so it's not going to wilt from any of the water coming off of any of the other veggies and things that you have in there. So that's another really great option for meal prep, which I might do a video on that and kind of walk you through how to do that. So yeah, I hope you liked it, and if you have any other suggestions, any other video ideas you'd like to see, just leave a message in the comments and I will try to get on that.